us on whatever platform you're watching or listening on, we would greatly appreciate it. A share on Facebook, a retweet on Twitter, and a subscribe on YouTube would go a long way in extending our reach and engaging more App State wrestling fans. Thank you for your time. Here's your host, Dominic Parisi.
Thank you, JB. Tonight we have another recent graduate of App State Wrestling, and as always, here's a little bit about his wrestling career. He wrestled at App State from 2015 to 2020. Before at App, he was a three-time all-conference wrestler at Northwest Guilford and was a 4A state champion at the 220-pound weight class as a senior, capping a 45-0 season with a 10-0 major decision in the finals during his senior year. He was a four-time All-American, earning honors at the Super 32, Flow Nationals, Virginia Beach Nationals, and the Disney Duels. And he was also all-conference in football as well. While at App State, his freshman year, he redshirted, finishing the season 18-11. And while wrestling unattached at all tournaments, he did also wrestle in the Southern Scuffle as well. His redshirt freshman year, he went 21-12 at the 285-pound weight class, while wrestling behind All-American heavyweight Denzel Desjardins. His redshirt sophomore year, he was the starter at 285 pounds and went 18-9 to improve his career record to 40-21. He ended the season at number 32 in the coaches' rankings and was a SoCon tournament runner-up, helping App State clinch a SoCon title. His redshirt junior year, he was a Southern Conference champion for the first time at heavyweight, and that qualified him for the NCAA championships. He finished 24-13 that season and went 1-2 at the NCAAs in Pittsburgh. He was a member of the Southern Conference Academic Honor Roll team and improved his career record to 63-34. His redshirt senior year, he capped a 32-5 season as a heavyweight with a dramatic victory in the Southern Conference Championship Finals in Boone, North Carolina, winning 5-3 in overtime against the 13th ranked heavyweight in the country from Campbell. He had a takedown with 37 seconds left in overtime to seal the deal. He was named co-most outstanding wrestler at the SoCon Championships and was seeded number 17 for the NCAAs that were canceled by the coronavirus pandemic. With 32 wins as a senior, he ended his career at number 9 on App State's single-season win list. He was a top 25 ranked wrestler throughout his senior season, knocking off top heavyweights along the way. Welcome to Beyond the Mat with Cary Miller, also known as Scary Cary. Cary, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Great, Dom. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Well, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy Monday evening to talk with us, but we're glad we got another fresh graduate of the program here to talk wrestling with us. So we'll jump right into it, as we always do, and we will go with our first question here. And how did you get started in the awesome sport of wrestling? How did that work out?
So I got started at wrestling my brothers both wrestled. Isaac wrestled a little more, and they would kind of wrestle with me at home. I didn't know what it was, but one day I was at football practice, and one of the older kids was kind of like, hey, who wants to wrestle? I didn't even know what it was. But I guess I kind of threw him down and pinned him, and the wrestling coach walked up to me, and I thought I was in trouble. He was like, hey, are you planning on wrestling? I was like, I don't know. He's like, you are now. I'll see you at practice. And I kind of got started like that.
Were you as big then as you are now? Is that what also caught the coach's attention, was the fact that you're just a big, beefy monster? Or did your development happen when you were in college?
No, I wasn't big. I was kind of tall for my age, but I was like that, like kind of lanky, goofy, awkward kind of kid. But I was wiry.
Nice, man. Well, walk us through your high school career then. So you were at Northwest Guilford?
Yeah.
So then walk us through your high school career year by year, the weight classes, if they changed, and just give us some insight on that, your successes at the state tournament, national tournaments, kind of go year by year on that. Let's start with your freshman year.
Sure. So freshman year, I came in at I was maybe like 170 to maybe 100, probably like 167 pounds. I wrestled. I wrestled 170, or I believe I wrestled 170. Yeah. And man, I was kind of ecstatic that I was in the starting lineup. I couldn't believe it. I had like an all right amount of success. I didn't have a huge understanding of what I was doing. I was kind of like, let me grab this guy and just try to do whatever coach tells me to do. But I really enjoyed being part of the team. I'd done all right in the conference, and the day before the regional tournament, we were practicing, and my teammate threw me on my shoulder and ended up separating my shoulder, and that put me out for like 2 months or something like that. So I didn't get to wrestle in the conference tournament that year.
So then that's all. Is that all your freshman year there? Does that wrap up your freshman year of high school?
Yeah, that kind of the rest of that year was kind of coming back from that particular from that injury, and it kind of took me until the next year until I was kind of back.
So what? And were you were doing other sports while in high school? What year was it that it was boom? Wrestling's my sport. This is my full time. This is all I'm doing. What year was that?
Yeah, so that was probably my junior year. Actually, it was because my sophomore year, I like wrestling. Wrestling and football were definitely the big sports, but I was still probably split. And I'd had a decent amount of success my sophomore year, and I was going into the regional tournament as the number 1 seed to the tournament. I ended up just not having a good tournament. I lost like my second match, and actually in the tournament that year, in the blood round of the tournament, I ended up losing to your favorite wrestler, Randall Diabe, to go to yeah. So that and Randall was super cool after that. After the match, he came up and shook my hand and was like, thank you for the match. But that really lit a fire under me. That I was disappointed in myself. I felt like I'd let myself. That was when I really dedicated myself. I was driving up to UNC Chapel Hill multiple times a week to go to the Carolina Wrestling Club. I was trying to grab people around the area. There weren't a ton of big guys who could wrestle, but I was grabbing anyone I could. I was working out all the time. App Camp. I remember that year I actually won the tournament at App Camp. I trained a lot for it. So that was kind of where it really started. And then my senior year was when it really took off. I kind of started to figure out kind of how to train. I'd gotten some new training partners. But probably the biggest thing was this one guy came to our wrestling room, Cody Harrington. He was a former SoCon wrestler, former SoCon finalist, and he would stay after hours with me for we would go in we would go in there at 8:00 or maybe 7 o'clock after practice. We wouldn't leave till 9:30. We would come in there on Saturdays from 6 to 10 at night, and he would just teach me hand fighting techniques, how to finish my shot. He would just go over and over and gave me really phenomenal training. It was, and he put hundreds of hours into me.
Oh, that's great. So in your high school career, did you attend any did you wrestle at any clubs or any camps?
Yeah, so the biggest camps that I would do, I really only did app camp because my Coach Bear, who's a really really awesome coach. He always had the whole team go to that one, and that was kind of where my the love for App State came from, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, imagine I did when I went to the App State camp, I did not think I could be part of App State wrestling. I was kind of like, I was like, oh man, could you imagine? Could you imagine if I was on that team? But that was where that came from. As far as I was actually on a Raytheon. Uh, uh, I was on a Raytheon and I was on Carolina Club, but I competed probably more overall with the Raytheon because I did Disney duels with them.
Yeah, good old Rickion. We're both the Rickion boys.
That's right.
Back in the days, they got a good hot yoga thing going on now. But
Yeah.
they were the top club back in the day, weren't they?
Yeah. Now they're the top of hot yoga.
Yeah, no kidding. They crush it. So were you recruited by other universities coming out of high school for wrestling or football? I mean, were you recruited outside of App or?
So I was recruited by definitely some other schools. I was not recruited for football, and that was a conscious choice. And my dad was like, my dad sat me down and talked to me. He was like, look, he's like, you do whatever you want to do. He's like, just so you know, if you do want to play football, you have to make a tape. And he's like, that's the only way you get recruited. You have, and I was like, Dad, I will not play football in college. He's like, got it. So I was recruited by some smaller schools at first. Once I started placing at those national tournaments, that's when I really got rained on by schools. The first school to really approach me was actually Campbell University. I'd met the Coach Chin. That he's not there anymore, but I'd met Coach Chin and I'd liked Coach Chin well enough, and I thought like, man, this is Division I. They want me. And then on my visit there, me and my mom met Cary Colette, and it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. And then on our first visit to App, everything was just kind of like we couldn't believe like how much it felt like home, and like how much like I remember that was the first time I met you like in person. And just like how like personable everyone was, how friendly everyone was. Coach Bentley just seemed like not only like a great coach, but a great guy. And I mean, it was obvious like his success and his knowledge in wrestling. So it just felt like something more I wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, man, and that's great advice right there to anybody looking at schools. It's not always about the scholarship and whatnot, but it's what feels right. You couldn't have said that any better. So let's do the same thing for your college career as we did through your high school career. Let's go year by year on that. So your freshman year, you redshirted. So talk us through your freshman year. What was going on? Did you enjoy it? Just give us some good details on your first year at App.
That was just an issue. I still also like, as much as I'd like, because I had gotten to wrestling, like I felt like I was dedicated to wrestling. But I felt like most people have been dedicated to wrestling like a lot longer and knew what they were getting. I still didn't quite fully know what I was getting into. I was pretty strong. I had some good hand fighting techniques. I was decently athletic for the heavyweight weight class. I still just didn't fully comprehend like college wrestling, and I mean, yeah. I guess no one really does till they get in there. But man, I loved being part of the team. I thought it was the coolest thing. I got Denzel was like a leader of leaders. Like definitely, it was definitely tough working out with him all the time. Definitely was tough, and definitely tested me. And I definitely think the biggest probably the biggest regret was from that freshman year was I felt like I approached training wrong, and I thought that because in high school I would get as much work as I like it was like that was it. Like that was, and I felt like in college, I felt like I would kind of go to practice, and I felt like, oh yeah, like I went to practice today, and I felt like my results. I felt like my results reflected that. Like I did all right. I won more than a lot, but it was nothing close to extraordinary. But then, like when I look back, I didn't think my training that year was close to extraordinary.
Yeah, and for those just tuning in now, we're talking with Cary Miller here on The Grind. Feel free to share this video, help us reach more viewers on whatever platforms you're on. We just had Christian Beach tune in. Cary, he posted in the live chat. He does about every video, but he's jumping my script here with a question, so we're gonna ignore it for now. But go ahead and say hey to Christian. He's already jumping in.
Christian, go run through my
all right, so let's move. Well, you kind of talked about your sophomore year where you were wrestling behind Denzel and practicing or not. So let's move on to your junior year, where your redshirt sophomore year. So you're now the starter. You're the guy. Talk us through that senior. That year.
Man, so definitely, and Coach LeBlanc had kind of helped me through the transition because I felt like I knew how to compete at that point. Man, it was different competing as the starter in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was different because I treated it different. Because in reality, it's not different, but I treated it differently, so that made it different. And man, I was just so like, you watch the film on me, I'm so timid, so like I'll just hand fight hard and like not attacking, and Coach LeBlanc really had to coach me through like, hey man, you have to control yourself out there, and it's like you have to be like not afraid to take risks and really able to put yourself out there. And I felt like through that year was where I finally started to break through. Maybe not even until like the last half of that year, I felt like I really was able to start developing offense and attacks, and still not to this, but I felt like I had started to realize how important training was, and I really took training seriously that year. I still didn't feel like I trained right, but I did. It was more important to me. It meant more to me.
Yeah, no, for sure. So then, describe as you started to develop through college. Talk us through your style of wrestling. How did that change from maybe high school to college, or what style did you start to take on as you become a more developed college wrestler?
So going through individuals with Coach Bentley and Coach LeBlanc, they really encouraged me to try and emulate someone. And the person I tried to emulate as much as I could was the guy they used as examples as often, and it was Kyle Snyder. And it was just I started watching tons and tons of Kyle Snyder's technique videos, Kyle Snyder's matches, and I always tried to think during practice, like, all right, I'm trying to make this look how Snyder looks. And I felt like that was kind of a key turning point to where I realized that, practice, every rep, everything you do in practice dictates how you're going to compete. And I felt like that was a big turning point for me. Yeah,
for sure. So then as you develop throughout your college career, talk us through, let's go ahead and jump forward to your senior year. Let's go ahead and jump to that. Talk us through your senior year. What was going through your mind? It wasn't and we'll get to the question about the NCAAs, or we can just answer it as you go. But let's hear about your senior year. High, lows, give us the whole thing.
So the biggest thing, I trained relentlessly in the off season. Coming in, I felt like I was very prepared, and a big difference that year between the other years, I had done a bunch of mental training with Jacob Cooper, and really tried to lean in to the side of like my competitor mindset, and about being relaxed and having fun out there, it really it definitely showed. Like my offensive rate, my attack rate was like probably triple what it had been in years before. I was just having a lot more fun out there, and I mean my results were exponentially better than the years before. I was winning tournament. I won the Wolfpack Open. I won Keystone. I placed at Scuffle. The low, I will say the low. There's probably two lows. The low, had a great first day at Scuffle. Not quite the best second day. Just lost focus in a couple of tight spots, and it's like in high level matches, all you need to is lose focus in a couple of tight spots. Right. Probably the biggest heartbreaker though was the Campbell duel. Just felt pretty bad going into the match, and during the match just didn't flow, didn't pick up an attack rate in time, and honestly lost focus in a position that I was in a position where I'm good at, and I really felt like I was like, after I stepped off the mat, I was like, wow, I just let that happen. Like I really felt a lot of responsibility for us losing the duel, and that one was definitely a pretty tough one to swallow.
Yeah, man, but you can't put that on yourself, even though wrestling's such an individual sport, it's still got that team aspect, especially in duels. So, and I was at that match, man. It was a great match, and they had a tough team that year, and it was a great duel. But it's crazy how mental this sport is, right? And you really don't, high school are the glory days. You're taking names, and you don't really find out about yourself till you get to college, to where you're in those tough matches every day, every competition. So, yeah, definitely. Did you have any injuries in college? Did you have to push through any injuries, or were you pretty healthy throughout your career?
I was pretty blessed with, especially compared to what my teammates and had to deal with. I was pretty blessed. The only thing was it was funny enough. My senior year, the morning of the SoCon tournament, in my first match, I actually popped some cartilage in my rib, just tilting the guy up in the very, very first match. You can even, if you're watching, you can literally see my face. Like, I was like, oh no, and it was kind of the rest of the day was kind of spent a mental battle trying to calm myself down and realize that I'd competed, sick and injured before, and that it was like something that I could still perform under.
Yeah, never fun popping cartilage. I feel like most guys eventually do that. I luckily got a cortisone shot to relieve the pain in mine, but that's pretty painful. Yeah, no joke. Shoot, to finish the match and then finish your tournament, beating number 13th ranked guy in the country. I didn't even know that. I did not even know that. Interesting.
Yeah. You can see in the video in the finals, my ribs. There's a bunch of tape under my singlet, and they were trying to tape it up so it wouldn't move so much.
Did not know that, Cary. And I guess you can say that answers this next question when it comes to adversity, but we'll just bring back your entire wrestling career, high school through college. What is some adversity you had to fight through? What's the biggest thing you had to push yourself through to finish out your career, to stay competitive, to keep your head in the right spot? Fill us in on biggest piece of adversity.
I honestly think the biggest piece of adversity was just the battle in my head, and again, it was I talked to Mike Machiavello when he had come to our camp, and we wrestled. I got some stuff on him, but he had just whooped me over and over. And I asked him, I was like, man, what, like, how did you become this? And he was like, honestly, man, I was in your spot. I didn't think I was doing very well. I was actually thinking of quitting wrestling. And then he said he started doing sports therapy sessions, and he said it completely turned it around, and he was a national champ after that. So I really think believing in myself, and two, like just going out there and not stressing too much about the result and just focusing on my performance. I think that was the biggest part of adversity that I felt like in my very last match, I felt like I really overcame in that.
Yeah, 100%. And again, those just tuning in or those listening, we're talking with Cary Miller on the grind with Beyond the Mat. Go ahead, share our video, help us get out there. Put questions in the live feed. We will get to them as we can throughout the show. But that being said, we'll get to a pretty important question that I feel like a lot of the wrestling community across the country would like to know. So your last year was the 2019-2020 season, and you couldn't attend the NCAAs due to COVID. So talk us through what that was like. You know, what were you doing when you found out that the tournament was a no-go? What was going through your mind? You know, were you emotional? You know, it being the last chance to reach those goals, you know, those the biggest goals you can get as a collegiate wrestler. Give us the breakdown of that, man.
So personally for me, I just wasn't connected into like what was going on, and I kind of done that on purpose because I was like, I don't want this to stress me out. Like, I'm just gonna train, and like what happens, I had no idea that the tournament could even be canceled.
Right.
And when we were at lift, we were just finishing up a lift. It was it Friday? I think it might have been Friday. And all of a sudden, I'm literally just at the app fuel station, and I just hear people saying the word canceled. And I was like, what are you guys talking about? I was like, the tournament can't be canceled. So I brought we were breaking it down. I was like, guys, just, like, don't focus on any of this stuff. Like, I'm like, we're going to get to compete. Like, we're going to get to compete. And, after that, we went home. I was just cooking up some food, and then we got a text. Coach Bentley said, come to Varsity Gym. And we all met there, and, he talked to us. He just kept saying, like, look, guys, I know. He was like, guys, the tournament has been canceled. I want you guys are free to go home. I encourage you to stay ready. This could possibly be turning around, and like, I want you to stay ready. I'm proud of what you've done, but stay ready. So that was kind of my mindset. I was hurting on the inside, but I was like, no, I can stay ready. Or like this could still happen. And when I got home, my dad called me up, and he kind of broke the news, as in he was like, look, man, there's no chance. Like, it's not happening. And I was like, it's definitely a big gut punch. I didn't even really know how to, like, it just felt fake. And like, it did. I was like, no, it'll come back. And looking back at it though, like, man, there are so many fantastic wrestlers who never even got the chance to attend the national tournament. And I got the chance before. And if I'm being honest, I didn't take full advantage of that opportunity. And life is like that. Like, life's not always going to give you a second opportunity. And like, I got one, and I did not take full advantage of it. So I was blessed to have one opportunity, and all I can do is move forward from there. Yeah,
man, great way to look back at that situation and come up with that verdict right there. That's pretty powerful, Cary. So we'll move on. We'll get away from that COVID crap, because that's all that's going on right now. So what coach did you spend the most time with, doing individuals, talking with? What was your go-to coach, I guess you can say?
So through the years, it kind of changed. Like, my first year starting, I did all my individuals with Rosa, which was horrible. He loved to torture me. I remember he would just have me pull the leg, high crotch recovery over and over, and he would definitely like lose focus for a while, like forget what he was doing. He would come back, he'd be like, oh yeah, do 5 more. I'm like, 5 more. I just did 25. Oh man, and his bike matches afterwards, like, I was glad because I'd seen people do them, and I knew, I was like, if you don't get the RPMs he wants, you will go again. So I was like, better get this or I'm gonna die. So he was my first.
Hey, but I will say, your recovery on a high crotch,
to this day,
phenomenal.
to this day, in the gym, if I get locked on someone's leg, like I score, like I'm so thankful he did that. I'm so thankful he did that. I'm not doing any individuals with him ever again, but I am so thankful he did that. Real clear here. I don't care if he comes to the gym I'm at now. I'm not doing individuals with him.
Yeah,
but
I don't usually give him any breaks, but I'll give him a break on that one because your recovery on a high crotch was, you get to that high crotch, you got your hands locked. You scored 90% of the time, 95% of the time. So
absolutely. From there, it was kind of Coach Bentley was kind of the summer after I lost the SoCon finals, and just whenever I needed an individual, he was always there. Really, really helped me develop good offense from a front head, which really, really helped me pick up my attack rate. And then from my the rest of my junior year to my senior year, it was Coach LeBlanc. Coach LeBlanc, hundreds and hundreds of individuals. Whenever I needed one, we went over every single position, and so many techniques that I still use now and that still help me now. And I think really LeBlanc kind of made me figure out how to wrestle. I felt like he really filled in the big gaps, that the little gaps, initial defensive reactions when someone would get in on my leg, crisper ways to finish my shots, what kind of mindset to have when I'm on top, how to sink into stuff and not just trying to force everything. I think he really kind of helped me figure out how to wrestle.
Yeah, no, I think especially the years you were here, the coaches we had on staff, everybody complimented each other. We had a great staff. I mean, same coaches for about 4 or 5 years, which is kind of unheard of. So, yeah, you had some good coaches. Definitely by your senior year, you were developed, man. You were crushing it. I loved your work ethic, and you never stopped wrestling. You always going forward with that forehead of yours and just heavy hands banging on people's heads. Yeah, man. All right, so what was your favorite tournament trip? What comes to mind when you think of best tournament you went to, favorite trip? Go.
Favorite trip? Oh, man, that's tough.
Doesn't have to be the NCAAs. I prefer outside.
No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was. Because NCAAs were great, but the whole team wasn't there. And I loved it when as much as the team could be there. It was so, honestly, going to Little Rock was just a lot of fun. Because there was a lot of downtime between training, and just all the team, we would all get together, hang out. We even had some jiu-jitsu matches. Yeah, I smoked Cody in those, by the way. Yeah, Cody. You don't want this work in jiu-jitsu. But Cody Russell.
He's 133 pounds, Cary.
Yeah, I know. But every jiu-jitsu match, though, it doesn't matter.
Just lay on him and kill him,
Yeah, but I won. Yeah, but that one was a lot of fun. It was a little bit of a heartbreaker at the end because my dad flew all the way out there and forfeited to me, even though they had someone to wrestle. But really, that whole trip though was just a lot of fun getting to hang out with all the guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wouldn't have thought you'd pick the trip to Little Rock, but cool. That's some good info. And again, talking with Cary Miller. Apologize about his service here. We know he's got a little slow reaction here with talking, but just stick around. The words he's saying will come on through. Share the video. Put some questions in the live chat. We'll keep it moving here though. So what was your most memorable individual match? I think I got the answer, but we'll let you go ahead and say it.
Yeah, that's it feels like a cop out, but it's definitely my senior year SoCon finals.
I mean, yeah, it's your senior year. It's the last match, unfortunately, of your career.
I had no idea it was the last match.
But it's your last match. You go out with a bang. You know, you get a SoCon title under your belt. You know, another one, your second one, and then you just keep kept it rolling and avenged the loss that season. I mean, I kind of would have questioned you if you said anything else, to be honest, but.
Honestly, the thing I was most proud of that match was I performed, and I felt like that was the way. And I guess I had performed against not people that were bad, but people that was a guy who, you know, like a higher level guy, and I performed. I went out there, and I mean, you can see in the third period, you know, taking shots to get to other shots, reattacks, like that. I was so proud. I felt like I performed.
Yeah,
that's where all the emotion came.
Yep, definitely. So what's your most memorable duel match?
Duel match. So my freshman year when we're wrestling Duke, it's just back and forth the whole time. And it's just not looking too good. 84 is wrestling. Taylor Jackson's wrestling. And I think he's down like 7-1, 6-1, and it's the third period, and we need this match because Randall had an opponent ranked like number 3 in the country, and he was a freshman, so you know, not super good odds there. He actually wrestled that guy really tough, but yeah, we were just like, Taylor, we need something to happen. And all of a sudden, Taylor just goes into like hyperdrive and just starts faking this guy out, pushing him all over the mat, and then all of a sudden double legs him and puts him down right on the edge of the mat. And the guy just kind of loses his focus and goes for kind of a half funk roll. And Taylor just throws in a half and pins him right there. Taylor's celebration goes absolutely nuts, starts shooting everybody up in the crowd, starts throwing this up. I don't know what it meant. I don't know if he's trying to confirm Illuminati, but he kept throwing it up. Just went absolutely nuts. That was a pretty awesome one.
He always would throw up the what were they called? Cowboy guns? Was he a cowboy? I don't.
Yeah, the cowboy guns. Yeah.
Cowboy guns. Man, old T-Jack. We gotta get him on here at some point, I guess.
Absolutely.
That rings a bell. I just saw some pictures of him and his girl. They had some crazy Halloween.
Joe Dirt.
That's. I don't know if it fits him. I think Mike Elliott would probably fit with that. You know. Oh, that's
Mike
funny.
Elliott is the live impersonation of Joe Dirt.
No kidding. Rachel just chimed in. She said, yes, one of the best moments from T-Jack. So she agrees with you, Cary.
That's right.
Again, talking with Cary Miller. If you're just tuning in, post a comment in the live chat. We're going to keep it rolling here. Let's see. Where am I at? What's my next question? Partners. Talk us through your best partner. Talk us through the guys that you would always battle it out with.
Early on, I mean, Denzel was a great partner. It was tough to say he's my best partner because he just hammered me. Taylor was a great partner as far as like we would go hard, and he had so much wrestling knowledge, and he would really teach me so much wrestling knowledge. Probably the best partner though, it's pretty easy. Paul Carson, you know, one of my best friends, showed me where, you know, Jimmo was at, and he would just really every day he would train, and one thing that would our success, like each other's success, would motivate it. Like if I wasn't really feeling it, I would always think to myself like, no, like I gotta be a good part. I gotta scrap because Paul's success depends on my effort and attitude here, and Paul thought the same thing.
Right.
And you know, just always down to scrap, always never ever backed out of a workout with me, never took one step back when we were wrestling, you know. definitely the best partner by far.
Yeah, so let's move on here a little bit. Kind of jump some years here. Post college wrestling. What are you doing now? I hear you're into MMA. Is that your thing now? What are your goals with that?
Right now, I'm training at this place. It's called Jimmo. It's in Gastonia, North Carolina, and right now I'm training. Planning on taking a fight in maybe 3 or 4 months from now, and I'm down to do any grappling tournaments. Between the MMA is just the skills that MMA that you get from it. Those are skills I've always wanted to learn, and as far as life goes, like skills I've wanted to obtain. So that's my goal is I want to learn as many skills as I can, and I want to fight in the cage. No doubt, I want to fight in the cage.
Well, heck yeah, man. Well, you'll have to keep us posted on when your first fight is. We'll make sure to promote it. Do you know when when that is? You got any lined up? Will it be amateur, or can you go to pro, or you got to be an amateur first, or?
Nothing lined up. As far as amateur and pro, it kind of like I've heard different things. The guy I've been working with, Chase Gamble, he said I can probably he said he would want me to go amateur. I have heard though, if you wrestle Division I, it can be kind of tough to get amateur fights. So we'll kind of play it by ear, and whatever him and Coach Jimmo think I should do, that's what I'll do.
Awesome. So what's one thing that you wish you would have known starting your college career that you know today?
One thing I would have known. Every rep matters. Every rep is you're either winning or losing.
Touche. Yeah, you kind of take drilling for granted when you first get to college. You really don't know the importance of it.
High school, I thought high school thought drilling was for conditioning and kill some time. We gotta do something before live, right? And it's no, that's what makes you a killer is if you're a good driller. Yeah,
for sure. And before we move on to our next segment here, do you know, and I think you do, that you replaced Coach Diabe on the locker room door with the new graphics. So you are the new walk-in entrance to the locker room for App State Wrestling. Do you know that?
So Coach Bentley told me he was going to do that, and I kind of I thought he was joking. I really thought he was joking. And all of a sudden I get a text from him one morning, and it's the picture of me winning the SoCon final. I thought he was reminiscing or something. And all of a sudden I was like, wait, why is there a door right there? I was like, wait, is that the locker? And then I got blown up by everyone on the team sending me the picture. It was so cool, especially to be surprised by it like that. It was so cool.
Yeah, for those that don't know and that are also just tuning in, Cary Miller here. He's now the new graphic on the locker room door as you walk in, which is a massive wall and then a small door. And he's looking like the Hulk after he just won another SoCon title, letting out his whole wrestling career after this one victory, which was a very sweet victory for his last match of his career. And it is a sweet picture. We actually used it to promote this episode tonight. So, you're now the new face of the locker room, taking over Coach Diabe. So we're going to jump in here into some scuffle questions here. It's called Let's Scuffle. I'm sure you've heard the word scuffle before.
Scuffalonians. Oh, my God.
Let's scuffle. I say that to everybody. You remember the guy at Chattanooga, right?
Oh, you can't forget it.
I say it every tournament. We always would look at each other and roll our eyes, but hey, it's stuck with us till now. All right, so here we go. Quick fire questions. Give me your best answer. Top, bottom, or neutral?
Neutral.
Agreed. Rachel asks, favorite post-match snack?
Pre-match, probably apple, Greek yogurt, some banana. Keep it light. Post-match, definitely mellow mushroom.
Mellow mushroom. The life of a heavyweight.
It's tough, but someone's got to do it.
Breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast.
Howard's Knob twice or moving mats for camp?
Movie mats. I enjoyed movie mats for camp. I really thought it was like, especially doing it. If I had to do it with some people I didn't know, like I'm doing it with my teammates, like my brothers. Like I really enjoyed it. And no, we're not gonna do Howard's Knob twice.
All right. Well, I should have adjusted that question for you then. If I knew you were going to be moving mats that hard, should have made that a little bit more difficult. You must have been in an easy group.
No, I mean, it was hard. Like we were exhausted by the end of it, but it's like I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
Yeah, for sure. All right, McDonald's or Bojangles?
Bojangles.
Nice. Would you rather do 6 a.m. preseason workouts or 6 a.m. postseason workouts?
So postseason means no conditioning. So probably postseason.
Well, hold on. When I mean postseason, that means we're getting ready for conference tournament.
Oh, okay. Thought you meant after the.
No, I'm postseason as in getting ready for SoCons. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely preseason.
Because postseason's all conditioning.
Those convo runs, hoof.
Right? Those were terrible.
Oh God. I can't believe I said that.
Would you rather do Wednesday afternoon conditioning, which for those who don't know, Wednesday afternoon conditioning, I should probably fill you in because we ask this question a lot. It's pretty much it's just a Wednesday afternoon, 3:30. The workout is just you go out for a good run, whether it's on campus, whether that's at some trails through the mountains. So for me, that was enjoyable. I like to run. So the question is Wednesday afternoon conditioning or Monday, Friday morning conditioning, which is more on the track, hand fighting, doing stuff like that.
Definitely Wednesday.
Monday, Friday mornings, they would get pretty intense.
Yeah. It would really stretch that time limit too.
I know.
Right, if you got an 8 o'clock class, well, you're 30 minutes late. Well,
it's 7:58. Go ahead and shower and get to your 8 o'clock class.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, it's on you. It's on you.
Yeah.
You can run. If you can run in the workout, you can run to class. Would you rather do a grind match or a swim workout?
So I butchered everybody in the pool. I butchered everybody in the pool. So the pool workouts were not like daunting to me. I would still rather do a grind match just because a grind match, I felt like grind matches were always places where I would figure things out that I needed to figure out.
Yeah.
So even if it was, me going against Denzel and him like just brutalizing me for however long it went, I still felt like I would figure stuff out. So I would probably still take the grind match.
So, and I'll just jump in here for you, Cary. So those who don't know, so Cary's probably the biggest guy on the team, if not the second biggest guy on the team. And
yeah.
We would always do swim workouts to, just change up the scenery. Instead of being on the wrestling mat, beating up your body, we jump in the pool at the Student Rec Center and just get a completely different style workout in. Well, Cary, being the biggest guy on the team, was the fastest fish in the pool.
Yeah.
Not just by a race, by a mile. Like he would finish the workouts and he'd be waiting on everybody else to finish. So Cary's a pretty good swimmer.
Competitively.
Cary's a pretty good swimmer. All right, moving on here. Again, we got about a few minutes left in this episode. So if you got any last minute comments, if you're tuned in, feel free to ask. But we'll continue here with these quick fire questions. Cary, Marvel or DC? I know you like all those movies. So what's
DC?
DC all the way?
Contest. No contest.
Batman or Superman?
Batman. No contest.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Coach Rosa Power Hour or LeBlanc Practice?
Oh, gosh. Rosa Power Hour. You know exactly what you get with the Rosa Power Hour. LeBlanc Practice, it always starts off, all right, guys, this isn't going to be the longest practice, but it's going to be intense. And it's like 3 hours later, like after you've drilled and gone live every position, you're like, all right, it has to be done. He's like, all right, on the line. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I hope he's tuned in. Gosh, I hope he's tuned in. That's why I asked that question.
Yeah.
I got to throw in another one here for Rosa. Okay, well, this is also for LeBlanc and Rosa again. Just the two guys, they're great guys. You got to bust their chops. Would you rather get in a van with Coach LeBlanc or Coach Rosa?
Rosa. LeBlanc, you've got like a 30. All right, so you've got like a 70% chance you're going to get pulled. And then you got like a 30% chance you're going to die.
Okay. Hold on now. Let's keep that on the down low here.
Rough.
Great. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if I should be doing these episodes anymore. I'm gonna start getting better questions here to bust their chops. All right. What's your favorite memory from App Wrestling camps? So you not only worked the camps, right, but you also wrestled in the camps. Came up with your high school. So fill us in on that.
So. Just going to the camps, I remember the first time I went, like just being really exposed to everything there was to wrestling, just because there's so many good coaches at the camps, and then getting to see the entire App Wrestling team. And then my senior year, I actually worked out with the team a little bit, which was I was scared to death to do it, but I did it.
Right.
Yeah. I think winning that the tournament the first my junior year was pretty cool because I was hoping Coach Bentley would notice, and it was also like I'd lost a match at the camp, so I was like wasn't exactly the favorite to do it. But man, I've got so many good memories though from helping run that camp. I would love to help more in the future. Yeah, that camp is just pretty awesome. You're dead by the end of it, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure by the time all this COVID stuff's over with, we probably, time goes on, get you up there, you get the whole spectrum, right? You were a camper, then you were a camp clinician, or excuse me, camp staffer. Yeah. Now you're going to be a camp clinician in the future. I'm sure there's room for that. 2 more questions. I'm going to do a little test on this one. What's the favorite place you lived, and who was your favorite roommate? No mercy here.
Favorite roommate? Matt Zavostak.
Sorry, Beach. That was Beach that asked that question, so he probably was hoping he would say his name.
Matt, because I roomed with Matt from freshman year till my senior year.
Yeah.
And I also say Matt because poor Matt was stuck with me for all the years. Obviously, I got to choose because he was really put through it. Favorite place to live? Definitely Longstreet, where it was me, Beach, Matt, Cary, Brad, and Cody. Definitely had tons and tons of fun there.
Can't beat a good house full of wrestlers. That's some fun times. I can reflect back on my career. Living with your teammates at a house, definitely by far the best place.
Yeah.
So last question here. What's one thing you hope people remember you for while wrestling at App?
That I was dedicated, and that being on that team meant everything to me, and that my actions reflected that always.
Yeah, man, and I'm pretty sure you're definitely going to be remembered for is that. If anybody attended a wrestling match, they could definitely figure out you were a hard worker by far. So. Cary, we appreciate your time. To everybody here, please become a Patreon of The Grind. Our site is live. We're going to post it here in our live chat. Again, all of that, all those proceeds are going to go directly back to the program to help with their various needs. Thank you to everybody who is already a Patreon. We do appreciate it. We are going to have special services for those who are paying and who are becoming a Patreon of The Grind. So for that being said, give us a follow on all our major social media networks at App State Grind. Subscribe on YouTube. Share our content. Help us get out. We are growing. I'm seeing more and more viewers every video. So we thank you guys. Cary, we thank you again, taking time out of your Monday to get on here and talk some App Wrestling. I'll give you the last words, man.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Go App.
Go Apps.
This episode of The Grind is proudly sponsored by Mountaineer Works. Mountaineer Works, owned and operated by Appalachian State alum and athletics photographer Chad W. Mitchell. Chad designs and builds officially licensed, unique cornhole board sets, and today I give my all plaques that will surely rock your tailgate, party, backyard barbecue, office, or creative space. They're sculptured smooth in the wood lab, fire coated at over 3,000 degrees, and paint dyed in the Cornhole Conservatory to complement their one-of-a-kind grain, then App State branded. The best part is you choose from a set of pre-approved color layouts and App State logos to personally design your cornhole boards, and today I give my all plaque. Mix it up or match it up, you can't go wrong. Show your Mountaineer pride as these make solid gifts for deserving folks. Find Mountaineer Works on Facebook and Instagram to place your order or ask a question.
This has been a production by Yosef Media.